Hi Cancer, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Check them out for all three so that you know which part of you I resonate with most as a reader. With that said, remember they're general readings, use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, my lunar brothers and sisters, welcome to. Oh shit! Okay, they're all over the place. Too many, too many. All right. So, I'm gonna give these a shuffle once more. Your key to the week this week is the Judgment card. Okay, so let's have a look, see. What this means is this week is probably going to be quite a dynamic week, and it's also very likely to be a week that you either remember for a while to come or some big change is implicated. This is, I call this one of the things that I call this is the blast from the past card. It's usually where someone or something from our deep past shows up, and very often it's for some kind of assimilation. The other thing with the Judgment card is it's a call to action. So in all of these different areas of life itself is kind of saying to you, you got to get it moving now, all right? For your actions and options, you've got the Ace of Wands. So if you've had a creative idea, a book, a blog, something that you've wanted to get out into or share with the world for some time, this is the message to say that thing needs to come off of the back burner. And you'll know what I'm talking about when I say this. Like whatever you came up in your mind, whatever you pictured, whatever old idea you thought, yeah, okay, this is going to be that. This is time, right? It's time for you to get this out into the world. It's time for you to put it out into the sphere of the world, right? To share it. And remember, this is about bringing the fun element back to it, right? Getting back to the enjoyment and the pleasure of it all. The other thing with the Ace of Wands, in terms of the options that are available to you, there is a chance for you to tap back into your creative energy and actually just to let loose and have a little bit of fun, right? This is about just blowing off some steam. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Magician card, you've got the Magician, and you've got the Wand, right? So this week, you really do have the power, and it's really about making big changes this week. This is not a week to play a small, Cancer. It's a week to go big, right? It's a week for you to expand out into the world. Now, the thing about the Magician is this card actually rules Mercury. Mercury's currently in the sign of Virgo, where it's very strong. It's now direct, fully direct, with all of its speed and strength. So this is doing good work. And the Magician card as your communications means your words have weight. Old ideas, old connections, old conversations, things that you've done, things that you've talked about, things that you've created that haven't probably seen the light of day for some time. Now is the time for you to put them out into the world. Now is the time for you to use your power. Now is the time for you to move ahead on some of these plans and to start making things happen. When it comes to the communication that you're having, your words are powerful this week. Your words are magic. Your words are spells. So make sure that the self-talk, make sure that the things that you're saying out loud are on point and aligned with the things that you actually desire. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this is great because, you know, if you ever went through a period where you used to get top marks, things were going really well, and now you find yourself like, oh, you know, I find it really hard to get those top marks and stuff again. This is where you get back to it. It's where you really start to lean in and you're like, yes, I understand the subject material. You're going to start to really see your studies paying off this week, all right? Now, when it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, first of all, there's a possibility for leadership here, but there's also a chance that this week you could be the mouthpiece for all of the things that the people in your office, your organization, your team, etc. have wanted to say. And I will say, because your words specifically have that much more weight this week, whatever you are sharing, whatever you are saying to bosses and superiors, it's really going to hit the mark. Use this to your advantage. This is one of those times where you really can get people to listen to you. You're super charismatic, you're super persuasive, so ask for what you need. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, you better get out here and sell, honey. Okay, there are things that you want to bring to the world. There are ideas that you have, especially for pitching meetings, going after funding. For those of you that are applying for funding and stuff for or through your business, you could do very well this week, especially if you've already tried this before and it didn't come off last time. This time it will go through. This is not just about selling, it's about really letting people know that what you do, what you bring, what you're offering is something absolutely unique. When it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, because remember, Mercury can be the trickster. You've got this with the Judgment card and the Ace of Wands. For some of you, this might be an Aunt Viv moment. I don't know if you've ever seen that episode of The Fresh Prince where Aunt Viv decides she's going back to school to become a dancer. I love that episode. It's one of my favorites, right? She goes to the class the first time. It's a complete disaster. And she's like, I'm too old and I'm too this and da 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 da. Anyway, she comes back in the next day, absolutely fucking slays the routine, the house down, boots Henny. Like, she kills it. She absolutely kills it. And then she comes out and she's like hobbling away. Right? But what I'm saying here is if you're retired, you might decide that there's something that you want to pick back up, right? And then when you do it, you're like, okay, yeah, I realize why I put this down. I guess what I'm trying to say to you is take it at a pace, right? It doesn't have to be all at once and all or nothing. For your communications and conversations, you have the Seven of Wands. This with the Judgment card, very possible that an old argument that you and your partner just keep having that has never reached a conclusion or a resolution. And I will say this week, you want to be really mindful of what this is, especially because of the astrology that's coming up for the next sort of 4 months over the course of this year. In fact, not even just for the next 4 months, from now right the way through till April. Pay attention to what the recurring argument is that never seems to find a resolution or a resolve, because this week you could have it, you have it and it's like, yeah, well, we found a way around it, or we just ignored it and it died back down. All of this stuff that people have been sweeping under the carpet, you're going to see this, right, over the next, from December really, right the way through April of 2024, you're going to see all of that stuff that people have swept under the carpet come very much to the surface, and this time it will not be ignored. So I advise you, if you've been having a conversation or an argument or a debate or a heated discussion with your partner about something and it just doesn't seem to find resolution, find a resolution this week, because otherwise it's going to explode next year. All right, now for those of you that are single and looking, Seven of Wands, you still got a few more frogs to kiss, right? You still got, and to be fair, you still got a lot of fucking fun to have. Don't worry about kissing frogs. Kiss a frog or five. Do you know what I mean? But just know in the back of your mind, you're not my person. I'm going to schmooze. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to have some pleasure. I'm going to enjoy myself. Sow my oats, darling. My Cancer moon in the 12th house, like, this bitch. Right? Have some fun, enjoy yourself, but just know that this is not the time. Your time will come, Cancer. It's very nearly on its way. So just hold your horses if you're single, right? And then for your money and materials, you've got the Four of Cups. Now, before we get into this, I do want to mention this is the very last week that you will be able to get these weeklies that are not a membership. So if you don't have your membership, if you're not signed up already, as of next week, you will not be able to access these. So if you haven't got yours yet, there's a link in the description box below. Make sure you sign up for them. There's going to be these weeklies. There's going to be a whole bunch of other stuff that only members will be having access to as well. There is going to be new content on the channel that will replace this, but it's not going to be in the same format. All right, so if you want to keep getting these, you know what to do. For your money and materials, when it comes to your finances, the Four of Cups is going to see you, especially with the Judgment card, right? And next to the Seven of Wands, this will see you really looking at what you've been doing with your money and, more importantly, why. It may also see you get really clear on the fact that maybe you need more financial management, but maybe you need more emotional management, rather so that it doesn't impact your financial sort of outlook or spending. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is going to be your stomach, especially for those that, obviously I'm not a doctor, can't give you medical advice, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. If you've had a recurring problem with your stomach and or your gut, this week something along these lines could show up, so you could have a bit of a flare up, so watch out for this. For your home and environment, there's something coming into the home this week. Now, on a really practical, very mundane level, it looks like some of you could miss a parcel delivery this week, and you might be really pissed about it because, and I'm really sorry to say, but it does look like it probably will end up going back to the hub. So it's not just like, oh, you know, we'll deliver it tomorrow. It's like it goes all the way back to, it doesn't go back to its origin, but it might go back to the hub. So watch out for this. If you know you've got a delivery coming this week, do something about that. Put it in place quickly. Now, in terms of the home itself, that Four of Cups, whatever general air of, because there's an impatience here, right? Something's not moving as fast as you would like it to. And unfortunately, you're just going to have to kind of roll with the punches. I think that's what this week is trying to teach you. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.